Hi friends, I'm Suki the Brown-Eyed Stitcher. This is Friday, September 8th. And why are we 8 days into September already? Okay, and this is Flosstube 34. Okay, so I don't have much to show today. However, the audio quality on this should be excellent. Thank you so much for being patient last video as what happened was the microphone I used with my old phone didn't want to fully work with this new phone, and it was just awful all the way up until like the very end when the microphone decided to disconnect. And then anyway, that was my fault. I did not test. I was too excited to see what the camera did about showing the projects that I didn't think to test the audio. So definitely my fault, but thank you so much. I also keep forgetting when I edit with headphones, and I keep forgetting that that can make it sound louder than it actually is. So for many of you, the audio was super quiet. Anyway, I'm super sorry about, I'm saying super a lot. I'm very sorry for the very bad audio in the last video. Thank you to everyone who managed to stick with it. But here we are today. New video. Let's see. I have some questions I want to answer. I am extremely behind on comments. I regularly read them, but I have failed in responding, and I don't like that feeling. So I just wanted to address some of your questions here, although eventually I will respond to your actual comment just in case you don't see this. Okay, so a question from Michelle, I think. Micheller 1108. When stitching Heaven and Earth, how do I stitch half stitch? Most of them are 10 stitch or half stitch. I have an entire video on the different ways of tent stitching, and so if you look, it's a Flosstube extra tent stitch. That'll talk about like the different ways, the different terminology that we use and all of that. But yeah, that's what I do. I typically use a basket weave tent stitch, and if you're unsure what that is, the tent stitch video will explain that. I do have a couple that are full cross, so it's not all just one way. I use both. Mel, you asked about the spider things that go in the wall. I still have not bought any because I actually completely forgot by the time I got back from traveling and everything. And oh man, and school started up. School, like it's homeschool, and we're trying this like 6 weeks on, 1 week fully off thing. Anyway, it's been going great, but we've been settling into that, and dance classes started up again. Chorale practice will start soon. It's just been readjusting. Anyway, if you search Sonic Spider Repellent, I think is what it is. I've seen them through Amazon, Tractor Supply Company, Walmart, Lowe's, Home Depot, any of those kind of places show up in a search. So search for that, Sonic Spider Repellent. Okay, Tracy Daly. I do have a backstitching video, Tracy. Okay, I'm being very bad about actually reading what these comments say. She says, I would be interested in seeing back stitching up close and couching so I know the difference and when to do which. I can make a video on that, especially once I figure out couching. I've never actually done couching, but I understand the theory of it. And so I want to just not try it first thing on camera. But yeah, it's actually very easy. Couching is going to be raised. I can explain the difference. Back stitching, we all know back stitching, right? It shows up these lines, but they're fairly flat to the surface of the stitching. Couching is raised. So you basically take like a cording, so you twist up your floss so that it's a cording, basically. And then you lay that on top of your stitching, and then you take a sharp needle, because you're going to take a sharp needle and lay it like this. You're going to, what is that called? Like basically pin it down with stitches periodically down your couching like that. So that's why you need two needles, one for the cording part that's laying on top, and a sharp needle that's going to pin it down into place. So couching raises it up, and I can try to show you the difference in the piece, in the Sorceress piece when I get to show that, but I can make a video on it, yes, when I get to that point. Marilee Jones, how do you determine what direction your stitch should go when stitching full coverage when your stitches are all over the place? Not too many times is there full chunks of stitching like in my demo. Yes, this is true. A lot of times there's confetti. My stitches go in the same direction all the time, so I guess I'm not entirely sure what your question means. Perhaps how do I path in my stitches? So when I'm tent stitching, mine always go bottom right to upper left. Although sometimes I will go upper left to bottom right, but it goes in this direction for me. I don't know if that's gonna show backwards to you, but anyway, bottom right, upper left, that's my angle for my tent stitches. So whenever possible, I will basket weave, which is go in a diagonal down one way and then up the next. And if that means skipping over certain stitches, then I do that. But obviously that's not always possible. So I just try to keep in mind where I'm coming from and where I'm going to, so that my stitches aren't running, the legs aren't running long. That actually makes it harder for a needle to get up into a space if I'm doing that. So hopefully that makes sense. I hope that was kind of what you were asking. Because yes, full coverage has a lot of confetti and you're just jumping all over the place. Okay. Helen asked about the name of the pattern from Silver Creek Samplers. She did find the answer. That's Moonshine. I showed that in the last video. Let's see, what other questions? Oh, how to get a golden kite pattern. To get a golden kite pattern, so the website Golden Kite is a full coverage, and you can pay full price for them, but they have several ways that you can get something cheaper, a pattern cheaper. So one way is that they always offer now it's been too long. Is it buy 3 patterns and you get 30% off? Golden Kite cross stitch. Let's find out. Hi, Golden Kite. They've got some, whoa. They've got some beautiful patterns. I'm just seeing. Anyway, they do have a sale all the time that says buy 3 or more patterns and get a 30% discount on your entire order. That is true whether your pattern is on sale or not on sale. So if you just have one pattern you want to get, then I recommend getting that one pattern, then finding like the 2 cheapest patterns on the site and getting those. It is still cheaper than just buying the single pattern outright. The other option is to look on their weekly sales. They do send out an email if you subscribe to their newsletter so that you get that in your inbox every week. What's switching out onto sale, or you can just check their website. But their charts are up to 50%. So you can look for whatever pattern you want and get it on sale. The third option is to combine the two. So you watch for a sale on the item you want and then combine it with 2 other patterns and get your sale discount plus 30% off the entire order. That's the cheapest way to get a Golden Kite pattern. Okay, MJS Stitching Memories. Regarding easy count fabric, is stitch number 10 on the grid line or is number 1? This is personal to anybody. So I use the grids with the gray lines, so every 10 blocks. If you are using a grid line that's red, that's 20 blocks. That's I think Witchult's version of Magic Count, I think is what they call it. I use Weigart's Magic Guide is what they call it. I use Weigart's Easy Count, which is gray lines and it's every 10. For me, the gray line is number 10, whether it's vertical or horizontal. It's number 10 regardless. So stitch number 1 in the block is gonna be right in this corner where the gray lines meet. So it doesn't touch the gray line, it's right here. But then on the other side, this is gonna be 10 and this is gonna be 10. Hopefully that helps. That's, for some people, the gray line is number 1. So it really is personal preference, but for me, when I first started, that's what I decided, and I have just stuck with it because I don't need to confuse myself. Okay, I think that takes care of a lot of the questions. Okay. So projects, I am going to show first Treasure Hunt Bookshelf. I don't know, these are just in whatever order I prepped them in. This is supersized max color version of Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, artwork by Amy Stewart and charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. I'm stitching it shelf by shelf and I'm on this 3rd shelf. This portion of the 3rd shelf. All of this part is done. We've got cross country going on here, but I'm working on that section right now. My stitching goal for this is a full finish of the whole piece, October 31st, 2024. And the shelf finish to be November 7th or 8th, something like that. I can't remember now. To be done a few days before the Stitching in the Springs retreat. So this is 28 count easy count fabric. It is 2/1 tent stitch. And man, I'm still tickled pink that this shows the entire width of this project so easily. I love my new phone. It's so great. Okay, so I've been working in this section right here. As you can see, I've got all this cross country going on. And some of the stitches are ending up over here, but not very many. Most of them just stay in this section. Now, I haven't shared how I'm stitching this section, so I'm curious if anybody can figure it out. The only hint I have given is that it is different from any other way that any other section I've stitched on this piece. I've never approached one in the way that I'm approaching this section. So if you can figure it out, leave a comment. But it looks good. I can't see the camera and stay sitting down. Okay, let's see. What is this called? Wow, my words today are not great. The titles, the book titles on these two books just glow so much. I really like that. Obviously so much confetti in this firework. There's fireworks up here in this section above, and yeah, so much confetti. These green leaves always have a lot of confetti in them. So, but I've been able to travel and stitch all over with them. It's looking real good though. Real nice. Up here was really nice. It was just basically 939 the whole way. You gotta take those where you have them on these big pieces. Full of confetti, and it's fantastic. I love it. I'm not complaining in the least, but sometimes you get like a small section of block stitching and you're like, oh, this is so fun. So that's where we're at. It is, let's see, I put in 10,568 stitches since my last video. So we're at 71.9%. Okay, so I think I talked about this in my video last week, but I know I've talked about it on Instagram. I was really concerned about getting this shelf finished in time for stitching in the springs. And I was just very concerned about hitting that goal and how many daily stitches I was going to have. So I finally made a spreadsheet and I looked at my calendar. So what I did was I ran the numbers, the dates, all the way down the side. I put in my goal stitch count, my goal date up at the top, because I was going to use those in calculations later. And then I marked as a 0 any day that I knew I would not be stitching due to traveling. I've got probably 3 trips between now and stitching in the springs. So I blocked off those dates so I know exactly the max I can take off, right? And then I just started from the top and I made some calculations with to find the average like stitch count. And so I said if I stitched 1,000 stitches a day for this week, which was last week, and then I moved down to 900 for a week, which has been this week, and then 800 for a week and 700 for a week. Like, is that good? Like, can I drop down to 600 and then 500? And it turns out, yes, I can. I will be able to go all the way down to 500 stitches a day on this piece, approaching that, which is so good. I can get 1,000, but it does take a lot of time. to do that, and it just means I don't get to stitch on a lot of other things, and or just do other things in life. But I am dedicated to my bookshelf, and I don't consider it something extra. I consider it a very needed thing in my life, and not something I have to earn the right to be able to do. It's just a need I have as a human being. That's my thinking with my bookshelf. So I'm very excited. Making that spreadsheet allowed me to just calm down, to know that there's a plan, to know that yes, these stitches really are going to be helpful in bringing down that daily stitch count, to free up some more of my time. So that's really good. I did that. That was helpful. Yay. So Monday is the day I switched to the new stitch count. So today is Friday. So Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, I will still be stitching 900 stitches. And it is 900 at a minimum. I just finished my thread. Whatever I'm on, when I hit 900, I finish out that thread, and then I call it good. So that's really nice. Anyway, then on Monday, I will switch down to 800 stitches. And I guess before I film again, I will actually be on 700 stitches. So that's cool. Anyway, 1,000 stitches a day makes for nice, like, you can see the progress easily, but it does take a lot of time. That's all. Okay, next project. This is Woodland Enchantress. It is a dimensions kit from their gold collection. The artwork is by Ruth Sanderson. And yeah, I'm pretty certain that this piece has couching, Tracy, because of this rope. I'm pretty certain that this is placed by couching. That's a long ways away for me, but if you can see why they would do that over backstitching, there's a lot of backstitching in other places, but it just brings detail to something that's flat, whereas this makes it seem popped, like an actual rope around one's waist. Belt would. Oh, belt is what it's called. Okay, so this is not even in here because it's on scroll rods. This is on a 16 count gray Aida. It is my second oldest project. Started in January 31st, 2019. So, despite starting it in 2019, at the beginning of this year, I really only had like this section done. Like from here down. Like that's it. But at the beginning of this year, I made this a project to stitch on 30 minutes every day. I definitely have not stitched on it every day. I've only stitched on it like 72 or something. I can't remember. And I can't look it up because it's on my phone. Anyway, so I definitely don't stitch on this every day, but I am loving how much progress this has gotten. And it's the beginning of September. Like, where is this piece going to be at the end of the year? It's amazing. So lately I've been working these in columns. Basically, I pick whatever color is next and I work that symbol out wherever it makes sense to work it, until that thread is finished or I just can't really reach anywhere else. So that's why we end up, even though I'm working it, choosing the color from a column, we've got it spread out over this way. Look, you can obviously tell from this glowy line that this is her dress, but it's ethereal And you can see that even here is you have this snow patch that is a different color when it is near her dress versus just on the ground. This charting is so good. The back stitching is insane on it though, so that's why I'm not touching it until the very end. There will be a lot of back stitching to do on this piece. And like I said, there'll be couching with her belt. So what I've done is I've marked off every block of the pattern that I have 100% completed. So because I have all of these outlines, there's going to be several blocks that are only partially completed, and I did not count those. But I have 293 blocks 100% finished. So that is 61.04% of the entire piece. All the blocks on the edge are very tiny, like there's only actually like 10 stitches in that block, but I count it as a full block just for ease of calculation. So it's more than 61% finished because of all the partial blocks, but I'm not counting those. So it's so good. Like I said, all of this has happened in this year, and I've only really worked on it in 30-minute chunks. There's been a couple days when I went over 30 minutes, which really only, since I haven't stitched on it every single day, it equals out like, yeah, anyway. It looks so good on these. These scroll frames are from Nerge, and they are hefty. So I can prop it up on my chair and my desk, and it works just fine to stitch that way. But it doesn't fit with my Lowry stand. So it props up like this. I mean, lower, but it's like at this angle where my desk hits up here and my chair arms are down here. The chair arms are like exactly the width of this piece, so it works out, I don't know, amazingly perfect. Where did I put oh, it's right here. This is, what is this? Oh, let me grab the picture. There we go. This is my stamped kit from Oraloa. It is Phoenix, and this is what it will look like. And I have to say that I'm really pleased with this kit. It is 35 by 35 centimeters, so it's really not that big, but here, let me move this needle minder. But it comes with like tons of colors, 59 colors, something like that. It's a lot of colors, and so there's a lot of detail to be had, and we're getting that. So here is what it currently looks like. Know what you're looking at? Here's the back. So I did start up here in this corner and just fill it all in. And then what I ended up doing, and I can't remember why, I think I just didn't want to deal with all the colors on the cards. So there's 2 cards, and like I said, there's just so many of them. Oh, here we go. So I just wrapped up the second card completely, and I know I don't have to pull any of these cards or colors. And then I wrapped up most of the first card, except for I started with color number 1. I mean, that's upside down. 1. It's this pink. And I stitched everywhere that I could find that symbol. Did I miss any? It's possible. Do I care? Not so much. I have more floss if I need to, but it made it really easy to just extreme cross country this. I think the other thing was I was taking this out. I've been taking this piece out for just a few minutes at a time, like during homeschool time when I'm listening to my daughter read aloud. Elocution, I guess you could say, if we wanted to be fancy. And I'm just putting in a few stitches. So just knowing, not wasting time, I guess, finding the next color and just knowing I'm working on number 3 right now, I can easily stick one symbol and one color and just go at it for, you know, the 5 minutes that I have to stitch. So that's what I've been doing, and that's why it looks like this. And that's why you can't see it. But look at its face. I have this dark color and one in its eye. It's there, that's its beak. So right now I'm actually down here with this purple. There's been a lot of this particular purple color to stitch out. So that's where this is at. But yeah, if you can, there's pinks down here and purples and this darker color. There wasn't too much of that, which isn't surprising considering there's not a lot of dark colors in this pattern. So yeah, can't wait. Like most of that phoenix, the colors are in the second part, and so this is going to be a case of mostly background getting done for a long time. And this is a book pouch. It's got a front thing that sometimes I use and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I slip my e-reader in here and can throw this whole thing in my purse. And anyway, I just got this one off of Amazon and it fits perfectly in my purse and it holds my projects very nicely. Next project I worked on is Sabrina. This is a Mirabilia MD106. And my goal on this piece is to get all of this section done, like the back of the chair, her gloves, and all of these flowers. That's my goal. Which means, yes, at some point I will just be stitching her skirt for ages, but that's fine. I am not stitching this with any of the beads. I have taken the floss equivalents and then added, where is it? I added a cry neck. It is 001L. And it's shiny and kind of like holographic. It's flat. But it's a color that would go with any of the bead colors. I didn't want to get a different cry neck for each of them. I just wanted a little bit extra sparkle because beads are sparkly, and so just switching them into the floss. I thought especially when I got to her skirt that there was probably going to be some times when the color of the stitches versus the beading was either the same or very similar, and I just wanted to kind of give the bead sections a little distinction. But I got the gloves done. There's no back stitching done yet because I do need to fill in more of the surrounding things. But here, if you can see, like there's this teal and a little sparkle. So those would have been beads. Those are like buttons, I guess. But you can see her thumb up here and like her hands like that. Oh, look at that. And then I started coming down with the chair. I don't know if I will finish coming down with the chair before starting in on the, well, I probably will because I have to move the Q-snap in order to get to the flowers. Her skin is a 1/1 full cross skin, but everything else is 2/1. The beading ones though, that is actually 3. It's 2 strands of floss and 1 strand blending filament. This is on a 28 count, I don't know. It's a 28 count Picture This Plus fabric called Sprite. It's a very lovely, like lavender purple. That's actually very accurate. Fairly accurate. It's kind of graying it out a little bit, but it is like a lavender purple. It's very light, and she looks very lovely, very, very lovely on it. And I put her, see, I'm very proud of this because I have done some organization of like my crafting things. And so I tried to put as many projects as possible in actual projects bags instead of, well, like my nice project bags, rather than the, these ones from Amazon, which don't get me wrong, they work fantastic and for the price, like you can't beat them. But I have nice bags, so I should use them. This bag came from Kaylee Tent Stitch at the sewing shop. It was, she sent it to me along with the snowshoe hair that I stitched for her, which Kaylee, I still have it. However, I actually have mailers now, so I can send it your way. I'm terrible at sending things, guys. I should not be this bad. But I have mailers, and it's sitting right here, okay? It's like in the middle of my floor, like I'm tripping over it, getting ready for today. Anyway, that's what's in this bag from Kaylee. It even has like a little zipper pull. It's so cute, and a handle. Anyway, Kaylee her website is thesewingshop.ca because she's Canadian, so it's CA, not .com. This piece is my fostered project from Alara, and I'm pretty darn pleased with where I got on this piece when I worked on it. So this is Alara's oldest project. I don't know its official name, but I call it the Sorceress. It's a dimensions kit, I do know that. And, oh wait, I think I looked this up last time. Did I find the name on the pattern? Charts and Charms, another innovation from Dimensions. And Alluring Sorceress. One moment. Okay, there was a knock at my door, and that just means it's my brother, so I went over. And he's like, "Are you busy?" Like, "I'm filming." So I just, he was taking his car into the shop, so I went to transport him back. Anyway, so it looks like I was talking about the Sorceress. It's called Alluring Sorceress. And Alara has done all the like cross stitching on this. She started the back stitching and the couching, and I'm finishing it. It's her oldest project, and as a gift to her, I'm finishing it up because I don't sweat when I backstitch. I also just don't sweat. Anyway, I am very happy with the progress that I got on this. I took this with me last time I went to New Hampshire, and I put in all of these like little sparkly bits around her. Doesn't that look so cool? There is one. This one was charted to be like way up here, and I just put it down here. I don't think it's gonna matter. I think there's a charm that comes up in here. But Alara, I did make that change. It was, yeah, it was that one. You're not even gonna tell because I just, anyway. So besides that, my goal when I had taken this was to finish all the back stitching. So last time I talked about redoing some of the back stitching, like frogging it out. What I ended up doing was just stitching over it. I didn't frog anything. So I just went into places like here and just stitched over the bits of it that I wanted to elongate better. Like, and that star, like I said, I wasn't going to touch the sleeve, so it was really in the blue robe that I did that in. So I did that, and I finished up all the things here. The only thing that I was not able to do was I discovered there's some, do you see this black back stitching? There are some that needs to be in through here. I didn't have any black with me on my trip, weirdly enough. The projects that I took didn't have any black. So I couldn't do that. So I do have some of this black to finish up, and then I have to do the cording. And here's the cording that she's done here and here, as well as around the sleeve. So there is some more cording to be done here, and I think it follows down, and I don't know. I haven't looked at the directions for the cording yet, but that's all that is needed to be done on this piece, is that black back stitching right here and then the cording. It looks so nice. I wasn't too sure about what the effect of these like little things up in the sky was going to be, but I love it. Alara, I hope that you are loving this too, and I can't wait to give it back to you in November. All ready for you to put the charms on it, so you better bring the charms to stitching in the spring so you can finish it and then ring the bell and put it on the brag table. I think that's 100% what you should do. Okay. Okay, so this piece I need to pull up to show you. I still haven't printed out a picture of this. Oh, let me turn this off. So this is a custom chart by Luthien Art Shop. This is a tribute piece to my boyfriend's dog, Fira, and this just looks so much like her. I love it so much. Oh, it was such a great experience to get this custom charting. What is going? Oh, this is my needle minder and my magnetic things are arguing with each other. Okay, So this is, oh, that's not even in the right spot. This is on a 36 count even weave that I hand dyed. It is stitched 1 thread over 2. Full cross. I've got some hanging pieces, one of which is, there we go, tangled. It's got some hanging threads, but that was just because I was going out of the house and wanted to work on it. So I had started some threads so that I didn't have to take a whole bunch of threads. I could just, but have options to work on. Anyway, this is looking so lovely. This gradient is gorgeous. The tonals all together is perfect. This is going to be a blue band all the way around. And then we've got a secondary stained glass part. And then this part, the innermost stained glass part is the outdoors. So this is sky. And her ear, I don't have this part stitched in yet, but otherwise look at that precious ear. I am very nearly to where I can stitch her eye. Well, this side of the eye anyway. So it's such easy stitching and it's so nice. I am not concerned about getting this done on time so long as I regularly am stitching between 250 and 500 a day. So, and if for whatever reason I'm concerned, then I'll just drop Woodland Enchantress and just put a lot more effort between my bookshelf and then this one. But right now I've been doing my bookshelf, then Woodland Enchantress, and then Fira. So I really want to get to this eye and see that eye in. So lovely. I have a thread here to fill in this section, a thread to work on the forehead, heart, and I think the eye, and once I get this ear in, I think I'll move it, I think I'll go down. I don't know, I can't decide if I want to go down or if I want to go across and just get like top down. I kind of want to do top down now that I think about it. And see, and just get her eyes in and see that. That would be so lovely. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, but I want to see this curve. Like, I can't decide. If I had a hoop that would fully fit this in it, I would use it. Or I suppose a Q-snap, but I don't have any 17-inch Q-snaps. And my largest hoop is a 10-inch, and I would need, I think, a 12-inch at a minimum. So 11-inch Q-snaps also won't work. So I can't just see the whole thing, which is really how I'd like to work this, but, or just be able to see, I don't know. I could put it on my super huge scroll rods, I suppose, but I don't know. Thoughts? This is at 19.82% right now. It has 6,004 stitches in it. Currently. It currently has that. And that is usually just out. It's not usually in a bag, but it does have a little bag. Oh, Sorceress is in another book bag from Amazon because it fits so easily. The last project I worked on was the Summer Garden by the Drawn Thread. This piece. My goal on this was to finish the left half of this piece entirely. And I did it. I was very close last time, my last video. but now it is fully done there. This is a 32 count Belfast linen in summer khaki. All right, so you have the hibiscus, which we say it hibiscus here, but I've heard that in other places it's a different vowel sound for this first I, like hibiscus. Astables. Thank you for letting me know that one. Rudbeckia. And down here are phlox. I did restitch this bee, so he's not chonky anymore. He's normal, 1/1. His little cute antennas are adorable. Okay, so one of the things that I was missing, I am missing a color that goes in the stems of the Rudbeckia. It is a Dinky Dyes, and I wanted to stitch it, and I didn't want to bother the company again. Is that bad? Like, I emailed them asking for what I thought I was missing because that was the empty slot in the kit they gave me. Turns out that that thread was in a different slot. So now I have twice as much of one color and none of a different one. And so now, I don't know, there's something about going back to them and saying, actually, I need this color that feels bad to me. So I looked up the color, and it's like a camo green. I can't remember. Seagrass, I think is what it's called. So it's like an olive green variegated thread. So what I actually did, because the Rudbeckia stems needed it, and I couldn't finish this section without doing that. So I found a thread that I already owned that was similar. Where is it? Here it is. It's not silk. It's a cotton by Weeks Dye Works called Tarragon. And it's pretty similar, but it's not as dark, I don't think, as the seagrass one. Just based on this picture. I just put it away and now I need to pull it out again. Based on this picture, like here is the Rudbeckia stems, and it's really hard to see because this picture is tiny. It's really hard to see, but the stems are dark. The other place that that color is used in are in these specialty stitches in the tree, and you can see how dark those look. I think they're used in another stem somewhere over here, but it's not so much the stems that bother me as so much this. And I am concerned at using this floss for those specialty stitches over here, because look at how like they match the leaves so well, which is why I'm fine with it here. But in the picture it is darker. So I'll probably leave that color, but I'm thinking of not continuing to use this thread. But in my craft organization that is still ongoing, I did find a couple other options. But neither of them are great. These ones are silk. This is a Gloriana. Oh, it looks so nice with my shirt. This is a Gloriana. It's the color Sage. And as you can see, it's definitely not as olive colored. And in this picture, this is very, it's dark. It's dark. And when I looked online to see finished pictures, it just looked a lot darker. So possibly this one, it's called Deep Blue Sea. I think this is closer. It's not as olive green, but it's like that darker color that I think is closer to what the tree over here is supposed to look like. So this is the color I think I'm going to use. Question is, should I go back and change the stem of the Rudbeckia so that it's darker, or should I just leave that and stitch the tree with this color? And I don't know what to do about wherever the other stem is, if I will do this color or if I will do the Weeks Dye Works. So if you have opinions, please share them with me because I'm not entirely sure. I do have time. I won't be touching this again for a while, but here it is again. It's not that big. It really isn't that big, and it's so fun to work on. I love working on this piece. I did all of the stitching. Like, look at the vines here. It's so good looking. And I worked as far this, I just finished out the thread that I had for the letters there. But we have 3 birds. 1, 2, and 3. We've got a bee. It looks so good. I can't wait to have this one done. Obviously, I can wait because I'm waiting. I'm looking forward to having this one done. How's that? This piece lives in a bag by Alara, and yes, like I said, all my pieces, all my projects, I wanted to use as many of my like actual project bags as I could, and so that's what I'm doing, and I really like it. And I'm not gonna say I need more because the Amazon bags really do work just fine. And everything, but I'd love more. Anyway, so those are that was what I finished as a goal. So that was all the stitching I had done in the last, what, 2 weeks? Has it been 2 weeks? 2.5 weeks? I don't know. However long it's been. What I've been up to besides stitching craft-wise is I brought some bookshelves up. When I did my library organization, my home library organization, I ended up like I removed several more books and just condensed things down, and I ended up with 2 extra bookshelves down there, I think. Well, ultimately, I think it was like 6, but most of them had, oh wait, no, because I used 2 of them. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I had 2 left in there for several months because I wasn't sure what to do with them. Well, then I finally figured out, and I brought them up here. So now I have on a wall over here 2 half bookshelves and then 1 like tall bookshelf. And then I put one right back here behind my chair. And so this is allowing me to give my bedroom some better organization and clarity of mind, like mental capacity, I guess. So let me tell you what I've ended up doing, because I have this rolling thing that lives by my desk over here. And it used to house all my projects. Well, now a lot of my projects are here. So here's official word, you guys. In the here lives my active projects. I'm going to consider all of these paused. So my whip count right now isn't that high. That's what just right are my active whips really are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's 9 plus Whip Go. So I'm just kind of working Whip Go 1 month at a time. I'm behind. But that way I can only pull out which ones are the Whip Go pieces and then put them back and pull out the next two. So for May, the May's picks for me were Sabrina and this one, which is, I'll just take this out and show you, Victorian Christmas Bell Pull. I think I'm going to be starting on these children, is what I'm going to be doing. So I worked on Sabrina, so that's done. And I want to pull this one out and give it a little bit of work. And then I'll put that one away and I'll pull out whichever is June's 2 projects, okay? So it's 9 plus 2 Whip Go pieces at a time until this year of Whip Go is finished. Hopefully that makes sense. And whenever I meet a goal on my project, so like Summer Garden, I met it, I'm putting it down here in this second bin tier of my rolling bin. So all my projects fit up here on the top. And then I've got this second tier. And on the bottom, I just have like a basket with stitchy supplies, and it's kind of random things. I have some of my thread blends from Adam Hart. I've got needles, got snag nabbits, beeswax, friction pens, extra beads, gritting line. Like, it's just a whole bunch of stuff in here. But I also have some things that came in since the last time I had a video. So the Mad Tea Party by Bella Filipina arrived. Let's see if I can, there you go. She's in the plastic still. She is gonna be sparkly. That came with a Krynic. This was a Krynic that didn't seem to have a Petite Treasure braid alternative, so I just went ahead and got the Krynic. I don't mind working with Krynic as long as I use beeswax. I'm still unsure if the Petite Treasure braids I got previous are for the Mad Tea Party or for the Bella Filipina Mermaid sow. I haven't looked, but I think it's this one. But this is the fabric that she's going to be going on. Okay, you know what? Let me take her out of the plastic because of that glare. Well, she's still shiny, so I'm still gonna get that glare. That's great. Okay, that's fine. There we go. That's the fabric she's gonna go on. Doesn't that look good? I think this is gonna look so good. But I don't know when I'm gonna start anything else. I think as much as I really want to start this one and the Bella Filipina Mermaid sow, and of course like a million other projects, because there's always projects that you want to start. If I just said all of these are paused and I'm just having these 9 to 11 active pieces, then I probably shouldn't start anything else. That's my thinking. So down here, okay, this is an awful way to show you. So these are my paused projects. This bag is the yarn for this blanket. This is a jar full of orts. It's very full, as you can see. This middle shelf holds projects that I could start at any point. It is pattern and fabric, and in many cases they are fully kitted. Like these are Mill Hill ones right here, and this little basket are some Mill Hills, and there's some other kits. Or it uses like DMC floss, and obviously I have DMC floss. But these ones are cross-stitching ones, pattern and fabric at a minimum. And that one is, these are like embroidery or needlepoint ones. So I do have some of those. And on the very bottom shelf, I've got patterns and fabric, just the stash of them. So that's what I have going on behind me in my projects. The other thing that came in were some threads from Owl Forest Embroidery. I've been wanting to try their threads, but I had to wait until they were able to ship again, and then they had to bring down their shipping, because initially when they could ship again, it was like $40, which I wasn't about to do, but now it's like 20, it's like 19 something. So what I did was I actually split an order with somebody else, Alicia from Adventures of Stitching, and so she got a pack and I got 2 packs of threads. And I will show you, I'll show you hers. She got these. I'm not opening them, sorry, these, so you'll have a glare. But we split the shipping costs, and I will either send these to her before November, or when I'm in Ohio, I will meet up with her, because she lives there in November when I go there for Stitching in the Spring. Anyway, so this is for a chart by Owl Forest Embroidery called Swan Lake. And so these ones will be going to her. And they have different thread bases. They use DMC for the ones they hand dyed and they send out in their kits, but they also offer a Russian base. It's more economical, but it doesn't have as soft of a feel. But I still think it'll be lovely. So I got both to try out. This one goes to houseplants, which is a free chart that I started. I only got through one plant. I don't want to pull it all the way out of its plastic. But I got this pack. They had 2 different packs, and I really don't understand the difference between the 2 packs. I didn't really look, but I just got the smaller pack. I'm stitching mine on 40 count, and I don't think I'm just gonna the first plant I stitched in DMCs, yeah, and a Mo's Sal, but that one needs to come out, because it's 2, anyway, it's on 40 count, over 1, it's tiny, but anyway, that's what I will switch over to use these with whatever DMC equivalents I may need to fill it out. But that's the variegation. So this is their economic base. Like I said, it feels fine. It doesn't feel awful, but it's just not quite as nice as the DMC. But still, if you're looking to save some money and you want to try their variegations, then you can do that. The other one I've got, it's for a pattern called Enchanted Forest, which I own this pattern. This one I think I'm going to have to take all the way out in order to show you. They're all so nicely together. Anyway, so I got the thread pack, and like I said, this is their the ones that they would send in their kit. So it's a DMC base. It's so lovely. You really don't want it to come out. They look beautiful. This one is just white and black at the ends here, but the rest of them are, all the rest of them are variegated. But the white and black don't look any kind of variegation whatsoever. So that's for the Enchanted Forest. That one I've not started, and obviously have no plans currently on starting it because I'm not planning on starting anything. I will have to argue with these flosses to get them back in. They don't want to go back in. Okay, so I'm just going to ignore that for a second. I think that's everything that I have to show you at this moment. So yeah, I think my filming days are going to be Fridays from now on, just with how life goes. But every other week still. Ideally it's going to be every 2 weeks. What is next? I need to figure out my hotel for Stitch West still, and that's in October, and then Stitching in the Springs is in November. It'll be very exciting. I'm so looking forward to meeting so many of you who are going to be at both of those, one or both or whatever of those retreats, so that'll be fun. I really can't think of anything. I feel like there was something about life that I was starting to talk about earlier or thought about, and then I was like, no, I should just let that wait. But now I can't think about it. My brain is super struggling with the school and dance stuff having started up again. It's not that these things are hard, it's just that it takes up capacity, and I just feel overloaded. So I'm just trying to find organization in so many different areas of my life. I've been willing to, I've been saying this is a throwaway, this is a giveaway. I've been doing those things as well as actually putting things in their homes. So that's good, but it's just not enough yet. I'm just in the beginnings of that, and we'll figure this out one day at a time, I suppose. So I love you all, and hope you had a marvelous time, and I will see you in a couple more weeks. Well, actually, I do have another video that will come up between now and then, but anyway. Love you. Mwah. Bye.